we start with Norma, who is the only one still alive except Matt Maddox, who performed in Magdalena. And so I think we have a clip, a still shots of her.
It's an honor to be here tonight, believe me. Thank you. And it was an honor to make Dance Magazine my first big musical. And with Matt Maddox, fabulous dancer. And that's me here on the right, on your left. Note the copper belts. Boy, made sure you didn't have a big dinner that day. Yeah, you bet. Very authentic. See? We were Mutsu Indians living along the Magdalena River in Colombia, South America. And this is the ceremonial number. I made bird number 3. Yes, those costumes, the big trains. Jack Cole loved those long skirts, as you noticed in the other film. Notice the train again. Now, the others were the mine workers. And here we are the wealthier people, Mutsu Indians. Green satin dress. Always made me think of Gone with the Wind when she took the curtains down. Yeah. And here we had the Pianolita number. There was the Mutsu Indians who were mine workers were also dancers. And they would gather around in this little town, and every time the piano would start up, they'd start dancing. And that's where the number came from. And of course, Jack's choreography was fabulous. I got along very, very well with him. He said, learn it right the first time, because if you don't, it takes 3 times to undo it.
Norma, tell the audience how you first met Jack Cole at the Chez Paris.
Oh, okay. I was a dancer in the line at the Chez Paris Supper Club in Chicago, my hometown. And Jack Cole and his troupe with George and Ethel Martin and Gwen Verdon and Carol Haney, all in this troupe at that time. I was so impressed. And he dropped it to me that he had a musical coming up, and it was too bad that I didn't live in California so I could audition. So after the troupe left, I started thinking. I had 3 years of apprenticeship at the Chez Paris, and I decided it was time to move on. So I took myself to California, and I auditioned, and I got the job. And I got lost the first day looking for La Cienega Boulevard, Nico Cherise's studio, and a fellow in the drugstore helped me find it. And I got the job, and that was how I got to New York, my first musical. And I made bird number 3. Thank you for sharing that with me. I told them that I've saved every picture, every article, and it's a treasure for me, and I'm so glad to share it with you.
So next is Agnes DeMille came to see Magdalena. And so then she wrote a letter to Jack Cole, and you will read it.
Yes, thank you. This is an honor also. Dear Mr. Cole, I saw Magdalena last week and hasten to write you my grateful congratulations for some of the finest dancing I have ever seen. I don't remember having seen musical numbers, which I thought were better staged, and knowing exactly the problems and the labors involved in producing your effects, I sat with hanging jaw. It was a bang-up job, and I wanted to stand and cheer at the end, as well as several times during the evening. The pianola number is in class by itself, but besides this, I thought the dancing around the Madonna, the jungle ritual, and the little Spanish piece, which I felt must have been cut down from your original design, were enchanting. I have never written before to a choreographer whom I did not know, but I am too excited to refrain. Is there any way of saving some of those dances so that we can go on seeing them, complete with their beautiful costumes? Sincerely yours, Agnes DeMille. I wonder if George and Ethel remember all the choreography. Maybe they could revive it. They did a concert revival at Lincoln Center in 1987, but it was only the music, which is beautiful too.
Villa Lobos.
And there is a tape to the music. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Norma.
Thank
That
you.
was very nice.
you.
Moving on to Kismet and the revival in 1965 at Lincoln Center. So Jemsy is going to speak about assisting Jack Cole at that time.
Well, I was not a Jack Cole dancer, much to my regret, but when Kismet was done, the next show that they were doing was Carousel. And it turned out that all of Jack's assistants that he usually used were either in Europe or in California or not with him any longer. So Ed Greenberg, who was the director of Lincoln Center Productions at that point, asked him if it would be all right to ask me to assist him, and he